speaking of Nick Gage, like I said, he had a big week, not only being, on the losing end of that match with Cardona, which got such traction, but also he wrestled in AEW this week in a death match, honest to God death match on national television against the one Painmaker, Chris Jericho. Jay, you watched the highlights of this before we went on the air. What did your gut reaction from seeing those highlights?
I was actually very surprised that went on television. They're really pushing towards the adult audience, if anything. Obviously. I mean, they're not going for children.
Not for the squeamish.
No. I mean, I was just very surprised. And Jericho, I mean, he pulled it off, and he did good throughout the whole match.
He took the glass, the light tubes, he took the pizza cutter and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sheesh.
By the way, the all-time epic moment in this match, and I told you about this, the pizza cutter spot, they go to commercial break, and the first thing they see is a Domino's ad. The pizza cutter guy, bloop, just cutting this pizza.
That is
completely innocent.
Awesome.
Devoid of context.
Right. And, I had alluded to you that I had a situation like that one time in Kansas City. A lady, I guess like a child had been abducted or something. They had the parents on like a breaking news thing, like basically crying for the return.
Promo,
news promo returning before break, saying, we just want our kid to return, please bring him home safely. And then literally the next commercial was the Chili's, I want my baby back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just horribly placed.
Sometimes it's a bad day to be in master control.
Right, and you know all about that. So yes, it is the truth.
A little bit of TV humor for you folks outside the biz.
Right,
but no, I mean, I think the match was, like, death matches are not my thing. But like I said in my review this week of the show, I think it's really cool of AEW to allow death matches to be involved in their product. Like, it shows they are kind of a melting pot of styles. And I'm not saying that death matches should be the norm in AEW. I think that what we saw with Jericho and Gage, it was a spectacle, and it should be treated as such and not made the norm. It's just one of those things where I think the location would have been better for him because the crowd didn't know what to make of him for the most part. They popped big for the pizza cutter and the glass stuff, but when they weren't doing that stuff, it was kind of quiet. And this was not like a sloppy, terrible death match. I think the mark of a good death match is like what wrestling you can actually muster up in there. It's not just like, okay, I cut you, then you cut me for 10 minutes. Like, that's not a great death match. But when you can actually incorporate stories and wrestling in it, I think it provides a better blend.
And see, I'm of the opinion that I need someone to die at the end of that match for it to be a death match. and then I'm like, okay, then
you need to go watch the Ultimate Deathmatch movies because somebody will die.
Oh my God. Okay, no spoilers on that. I'll watch your reviews.
Right. I mentioned earlier, I don't think AEW should sign Gage. I think it's fine if it's a one and done, and it's like, he just kind of goes back into the deathmatch scene or doing what he does. Because, I mean, Gage is best in the deathmatch thing. And like I said, AEW should not make that a regular thing. Otherwise, you've got a thing like New Jack who can just show up and just be kind of like, he just shows up and dinks people with weapons for 10 minutes and dives off something. And it's a match. And I don't think that's what Gage should be. And I don't think that needs to be in AEW. One more thing I want to say about Gage before we move on to other topics, Jay, is just like I said, kind of the top of this segment, how he's a very polarizing figure. There's people who want to downgrade or, degrade Gage and what he has accomplished. And they say, oh, he robbed a bank. Oh, he's a drug addict. So you can't glorify him and you can't promote him. He doesn't have the right to exist. I understand there's this outrage among, especially the WWE stans who want to call him out for this, as if, wrestling, that historically clean and virtuous bunch of people who work in the business.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess there are some that are the WWE purists that wouldn't want to see that kind of stuff. But, I mean, those are like the PG era people, man. We want to see blood and guts.
Well, not even that. It's not even the blood and guts. I'm just talking about what the man has done, outside the ring. Yes, he robbed a bank with no mask. And yes, he has a history with substance abuse. But it's like he's getting...
So does Jeff Hardy.
Right, exactly. How could anyone criticize him? How could any wrestling fan criticize Nick Gage for what he's gone through? Well, at the same time, these people probably have Jeff Hardy on their avatar on social media, or look at Jimmy Uso, who just got rewarded with a tag title for getting a DUI for the second time that's happened. So I can't have people coming to me about, oh, he robbed a bank. He doesn't deserve to get this kind of glory.
Well, to be completely fair, if Jeff Hardy robbed a bank, he'd probably at least be in his face paint.
Right, exactly. He would conceal himself a little bit.
Want to hear more? Subscribe to This Week in Regret on YouTube for full episodes of the podcast, dropping every Thursday night. Don't forget, we're also on SoundCloud.